Greetings, programs. Welcome to Rationality From AI to Zombies, Chapter 44, Science as a Curiosity Stopper. Imagine that I, in full view of live television cameras, raised my hands and chanted abracadabra, and caused a brilliant light to be born, flaring in an empty space beyond my outstretched hands. Imagine that I committed this act of blatant, unmistakable sorcery under the full supervision of James Randi and all skeptical armies. Most people, I think, would be fairly curious as to what was going on. But now suppose instead I didn't go on television. I do not wish to share the power, nor the truth behind it. I want to keep my sorcery secret. And yet, I also want to cast my spells whenever and wherever I please. I want to cast my brilliant flare of light so that I can read a book on the train without anyone becoming curious. Is there a spell that stops curiosity? Yes, indeed. Whenever anybody asks, "How did you do that?" I just say, "Science." It's not a real explanation, so much as a curiosity stopper. It doesn't tell you whether the light will brighten or fade, change colour and hue or saturation. It certainly doesn't tell you how to make a similar light to yourself. You don't actually know anything more than you knew before I said the magic word. But you turn away, satisfied that nothing unusual is going on. Better yet, the same trick works with a standard light switch. Flip a switch and a light bulb turns on. Why? In school, one is taught that the password to the light bulb is electricity. By now, I hope you're wary of marking the light bulb as understood on such a basis. Does saying electricity let you do the calculations that will control your anticipation of experience? There is, at the least, a great deal more to learn. Physicists should ignore this paragraph and substitute a problem in evolutionary theory, where the substance of the theory is again in calculations that few people know how to perform. If you thought the light bulb was scientifically inexplicable, it would seize the entirety of your attention. You would drop whatever else you were doing and focus on that light bulb. But what does the phrase scientifically explicable mean? It means that somebody else knows how the light bulb works. When you are told the light bulb is scientifically explicable, you don't know more than you knew earlier. You don't know whether the light bulb will brighten or fade, but because someone else knows, it devalues the knowledge in your eyes. You become less curious. Someone is bound to say, if the light bulb were unknown to science, you could gain fame and fortune by investigating it. But I'm not talking about greed. I'm not talking about career ambition. I'm talking about the raw emotion of curiosity, the feeling of being intrigued. Why should your curiosity be diminished because someone else, not you, knows how the light bulb works? Is this not spite? It's not enough for you to know? Other people must also be ignorant or you won't be happy? There are goods that knowledge may serve besides curiosity, such as the social utility of technology. For these instrumental goods, it matters whether some entity in local space already knows. But for my own curiosity, why should it matter? Besides, consider the consequences if you permit someone else knows the answer to function as a curiosity stopper. One day you walk into your living room and see a giant green elephant seemingly hovering in midair, surrounded by an aura of silver light. What the heck, you say? And a voice comes from above the elephant saying, "Somebody already knows why this elephant is here." Oh, you say. In that case, never mind, and walk on into the kitchen. I don't know the grand unified theory for this universe's laws of physics. I also don't know much about human anatomy, with the exception of the brain. I couldn't point out on my body where my kidneys are, and I can't recall offhand what my liver does. I am not proud of this. Alas, with all the math I need to study, I'm not likely to learn anatomy anytime soon. Should I, so far as curiosity is concerned, be more intrigued by my ignorance of the ultimate laws of physics than the fact I don't know much about what goes on inside my own body? If I raised my hands and cast a light spell, you would be intrigued. Should you be any less intrigued by the fact that I raise my hands? When you wave your arm and wave a hand around, this act of will is coordinated by, among other brain areas, your cerebellum. I bet you don't know how the cerebellum works. I know a little, though only the gross details, not enough to perform calculations. But so what? What does that matter if you don't know? Why should there be a double standard of curiosity for sorcery and hand motions? Look at yourself in the mirror. Do you know what you're looking at? Do you know what looks out from behind your eyes? Do you know what you are? Some of that answer science knows, and some of it science does not. But why should that distinction matter to your curiosity if you don't know? Do you know how your knees work? Do you know how your shoes are made? Do you know why your computer monitor glows? Do you know why water is wet? The world around you is full of puzzles. Prioritize if you must, but do not complain that cruel science has emptied the world of mystery. With reasoning such as that, I could get you to overlook an elephant in your living room. Here ends chapter 44. Now for my thoughts. So yeah, on the one hand, this is pretty simple. It's just more of the same that we've already had before, where somebody just shouts a word that really isn't an explanation, and that just stops thought. You know, like science or magic or whatever. We've had that before, nothing new there. But there is a little more to it than that, or at least for me there is. I have found myself fitting into this slot quite nicely. As long as somewhere in the human race, somewhere in the vaults of science, somebody knows what's going on about this thing, then I find myself to be somewhat reassured. I'm not quite sure why, but as long as somebody has some idea what's going on, and that these things are known to humanity as a group, of which I am a member, then I do find that my intense curiosity about something is lessened. I suspect, for me at least, it's linked in some way to the idea of art. I'm not big on art. I'm not an artist, I'm not a huge fan, but I find it important that art be in the world. I know the good it does for society to have artists, to encourage art, and how other people feel about art even if I do not. So the existence of art, I consider it to be a very important good, even if I personally get very little out of it. Same thing here. I may not know how X works, but if I can be quite confident that the answer to X is known by somebody somewhere, then I do find that I find a small degree of contentment from that. Plus, if X is already known, there is a very good chance that I can go on the internet and find out myself, which is something that I do. And that's something that I like. Mind you, I've got to be honest here, I am the person who asks the annoying question about the elephant. If somebody says it's a hologram or something, I'm gonna want to know how it works. If only so I can know for my own sake, or to be able to tell anybody else, or possibly, hey, can I buy one of these things? These things are cool. Anyway, fairly straightforward chapter for today. Tune in next time for chapter 45, Truly Part of You. Bye for now.